I'm Emiliette, and my channel name is Emifluencer. It is gotten from my name, Emiliette, because it is Emifluencer because I intend to motivate, inspire, and entertain. If you are a mom in Germany, and for single mothers especially, then this video for today is for you. Are you thinking of a Studium or an Ausbildung come 2026? Remember, on my last video, I did mention that in 2026, we are doing things intentionally. So are you looking forward to study or to do an apprenticeship come 2026? Then this video is for you. Are you that single mom you wish to go for either a Studium or an Ausbildung, but because of your financial situation, you think it's not possible, or because of maybe childcare and so on and so forth, you think it's not going to be possible? Therefore, I've come with this video to give you hope and to tell you that it is possible. Are you that mother you wish to go for an apprenticeship program or a Studium, and you think that it's not possible, you're confused on how to choose which Berufswahl to choose? Then with this video, you're also going to get some very good informations on how to go about that. I am going to make mention of the Anlaufstelle that are going to help you if you consider them. So please stay tuned the end and don't forget to subscribe. So in this video, I'll be talking about childcare, time management, finances, Anlaufstelle, on where to get Beratung or counseling on which career path to choose. Which career path to choose. I am saying this from experience as someone who also intend to start up something come 2026, and as someone who has teilweise also had a little bit of experience in the Berufsleben in Germany. Therefore, you wish to watch this video till the end. Yeah, you wish to watch this video till the end. So now, talking about Anlaufstelle, where you are supposed to go in order to get information on which career path to choose. You and I know that life as a single person is different from life as a mom. I started my Ausbildung, for example, when I was single, and along the way, I had my baby and things became tough, like super tough. That is why I am making this video today, in order to let you, that mother, know that it is not as easy as you think. There are a lot of things to consider before starting your apprenticeship program. And this Beratungsstelle, take them serious. If you go there, you make an appointment with them. If you go there, take it serious. There are a lot of things to consider. Also do your own, due diligence, do a lot of research before you go. So now, to begin with, the first Anlaufstelle you want to think about if you intend to go for counseling on which career path to choose is what? The BIZ, B-I-Z, which is the Berufsinformationszentrum, that is the Bundesagentur für Arbeit. You wish to consider that. They might probably ask you about information related to your qualification, what you already had, and what you intend to do. Maybe you're a mom that you already had a career, but you intend to do a Weiterbildung, or you're a mom who wishes to do an Umschulung, or you wish to do completely something different from what you had before you had your kids, or maybe you intend to go for a Studium. Of course, you wish to, first of all, you don't just want to begin, or you don't just want to wait until it's time for you to apply. You wish to, first of all, go for this Beratung, this counseling, so that you should get a little bit of information on what is expected of you. You wish to get a little bit of information of what awaits you, what is needed in this career path. Is it possible as a mom? They are professionals. You talk with them and then you will get clarity, right? We are doing things in 2026 with clarity. So stay tuned. We have already talked about the first Anlaufstelle, which is the BIZ, the Berufsinformationszentrum. The next Anlaufstelle. So the next Anlaufstelle you wish to consider as a parent is the VAMV. Is the VAMV? The VAMV. The VAMV stands for Verband Alleinerziehende Mutter und Vater. So each Bundesland has this Verband. It is just like an association, it's an organization responsible for single people, for single parents. There they already understand your struggles as a mom or as a dad with a child. So you going to study is like, it's not easy. So when you go there, they will help to connect you with some local services around your area that will help you, you know, to program everything, to put everything together. The next Anlaufstelle I wish to talk about is what, if you are someone that you are thinking of going for maybe a studium, it is good that you choose your university in voraus. Don't wait until semester begin, or don't wait until when people are applying already before you think, hey, what should I do? Or so. No, in voraus, if you already have a university in mind, they always have a Familienbüro, which in English is called family service or student counseling service. Contact them, ask for part-time options, ask for information in relation to the program. For example, if you're someone who wishes to study Pflegewissenschaft or Kindheitspädagogy, call them and ask them, like, how does the program looks like? They will give you more information and you will have clarity, right? You will not just want to wait until the last day. Like, working ahead of time will help you save time and stress and a lot of stress. So you wish to contact this office, they might give you a telefonische Beratung, or they might ask you to come physically. Remember, with the other Anlaufstelle I did mention, you're also supposed to book an appointment with them. Book an appointment, appear there early and talk with them. Like, to even show that you are, you know, like, you're very intentional, you're serious of what you're doing. Before going there, if you have an appointment with them, before going there, make sure you jot down some very important points on how, you know, childcare, school, finances. You have a lot of other questions and so on and so forth. All the questions you have, please put them together. Put them together before you go there, so that you should have clarity. That is the purpose of this Anlaufstelle. You don't just want to begin like that. At least have a Beratung, a professional Beratung. It might be on telephone. It must not necessarily be physical. Maybe as a parent, they might say, okay, it can be telephonish. Then you go there and you get all the necessary informations that you need. Okay? So, but then I was mostly talking about single mothers, because it's hard to do all of this alone. So you wish to consider this Anlaufstelle to go for Beratung. Of course, if you are married, you're also a mom and you intend to study, it is the Germans will say ich gehe davon aus, like they consider that you have support. But if you still think that you need Beratung, like you need clarity on which career path to choose, of course you can also consider going to this Anlaufstelle before you begin your Ausbildung. And the next point I am going to talk about is what? Finances. You starting your apprenticeship means, your apprenticeship or your studium means, it doesn't just mean yeah, everything is taken care of. You have to also consider that your rents needs to be paid, all the other stuffs need to be paid. So it's good that you have that at the back of your mind. That will be the next point I will be talking. So like I did mention at the beginning of the video, financial consideration is one of the key aspects you need to look about as a mom or as a single mom before starting either a studium or an Ausbildung. These financial considerations are determined based on what you choose. If you choose, for example, an Ausbildung, for example, an Ausbildung in the Pflege, automatically man geht davon aus that you will be receiving Ausbildungsgeld, right? Meaning, to an extent, you don't have to make a lot of stress, because okay, if you are receiving Ausbildungsvergütung, you will be receiving Kindergeld, um, you'll be receiving Kindergeld, Unterhalt, and every other stuff, right? okay, it means it is sorted out. If you are going for a studium, if you're going for a studium, these are things you wish to consider as a mom. I'll read them here. I'll read them from this book, Allein Erziehende Tipps und Informationen von Verband Alleinerziehende Mutter und Väter Bundesverband. So I'll check page 57. We have Studium. We have Studium. If you are considering a Studium, es gibt verschiedene Möglichkeiten, ein Studium zu finanzieren. Die Einkommen, die meisten alleinerziehende Studentinnen und Studenten besteht aus mehreren Quellen, sowie die Grundpfeiler sind Unterhalt von den Elternteil oder von der Vater des Kindes, von getrennt lebende oder frühere Ehegatte. Bundesausbildungsförderung, das ist BAföG. We have Stipendium, we have Erwerbstätigkeit. Dazu kommen Wohn-, Kinder- und Elterngeld, Unterhaltsleistungen für Kinder oder Unterhaltsvorschuss im Einzelfall, zusätzliche Renteanspruch oder Sozialgeld. So now, if you are that parent, you are considering a studium, there's one financial consideration you need to consider, which I've already listed. You have BAföG. You have BAföG. But one thing you need to know about BAföG is now loan that they give you, you have to pay it back later on when you're done. And one thing you also wish to consider is if you're choosing BAföG, you need to like apply a little bit early, because the VAT type, you and I know the VAT type is not always a joking thing. You need to apply a little bit earlier. Maybe you're working yourself, you're working maybe part-time or mini job or so, Unterhalt and so on, like I did listed already. Or we have stipendium for alleinerziehende Mutter. If you're lucky to get a stipendium, it's also good. And the good thing about stipendium is you don't need to pay back stipendium. So those are financial considerations you wish to consider, because remember, you're studying, it is not the end of the world, or things are not, your landlord is not going to say, hey, don't pay the rent because you're a single mom and you're studying or whatsoever thing. The rent needs to be paid, my dear. The rent needs to be paid, things need to move, and you also want to consider these things, like if possible a year before or 6 months before everything officially starts, and you start doing your research, doing the necessary course, trying to see if you hopped. And again, as a foreigner, your status also matter on whether you're eligible for some of these things or not. So you wish to consider and make inquiries a little bit earlier. I mean, the earlier the better. The earlier the better. So yeah, those are things you need to, consider. But if you're married, of course, you need to just relax, because yeah, it will not be so hard for you. So time management is another factor you also have to consider. Time management. Are you that kind of a person that you think you can manage your childcare and your school and your resting time? Because hey, you also need to rest, right? You also need to rest. So time management is a very, 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 very important factor you need to consider. And of course, in addition to so under time management, you also want to consider on whether, okay, if you're going for an Ausbildung, if the Ausbildung full time is 3 years, if it's part time, it might be 5 years or 4.5 years. You look at, it depends on how flexible you are. You try to consider, are you that type that you will not shaft these 3 years with a child? If it's not possible, of course, some Ausbildung have part-time options. You also create a schedule. I know it's difficult, even for me here. Sometimes it's difficult to make a schedule and to respect that schedule. But I bet you, if you have a schedule and you respect the schedule, then it's going to help a lot. It's going to help a lot. Try to have a structure way of doing things. When it comes to even the sleep time of the child, it should be respected, or of the children, it should be respected, so that you can have your me time and maybe your study time, your resting time. Don't joke with your resting time and your hobbies, because you also deserve rest. The rest is part of the productivity. If you rest, you'll be able to do a lot of other activities. So under time management, still under time, family or friends, of course, if you can gain their support, it will also be good. Use them. If you have a good partner that you guys are co-parenting, of course, let him have the children, so that you can also have time to do your own things, to rest, to carry out, to have hobbies. One rest. I beg sister, one rest. You have to also rest, right? You also have to rest. So it is. So another key aspect to consider is childcare. Like I did mention at the beginning of my video, you need to also consider childcare. Under childcare, there are a lot of things to consider. First of all, are you mobile? If you don't yet have a license, it means you have to be strategic when choosing a place where to keep your child, like the daycare or the kita. It should be closer to your Ausbildung place, or a little bit closer to the house. You also want to consider it so well. And for children that are more than 6 years or so, you also want to consider after Betreuungsmöglichkeit, like after school Betreuungsmöglichkeit. But I think such things are also possible to have them. And under child care, daycare management, you also intend to look into details. You hope the time at which your Ausbildung is starting, like the time, is not it's not clashing with the time where you're supposed to drop or pick your child from school. So these are the most important things you need to consider. And it's good you have clarity before the beginning of the training. You don't want to always be exhausted running from A to B, because maybe the Kita-Platz or your school or your Ausbildungsbetrieb or your Studium or your Hochschule is so far away. So you need to consider all of these things. They are super important. They are super important. So consider them. Make sure you consider them. We have administrative and legal and administrative considerations before starting an Ausbildung. When I talk of legal and administrative consideration, I mean, for example, if you are a mom considering to go for a studium, you will need, if you're a mom considering to go for a studium, after your admission letter has been approved, you will need your admission letter to apply for BAföG. Those are administrative considerations. Part of the administrative consideration is you cannot just say, I want to start an house building. First of all, you're a foreigner, and as a foreigner, you want to first of all put all your documents together. For example, if you already have in mind you wish to go for Pflege Ausbildung, you want to translate all your documents, your certificate, you want to put them together, do Anerkennung, like Anerkennlassen. You want to consider doing all the necessary administrative works, resident permit, and so on. You want to consider doing taking care of all of those things. And maybe your child's kindergarten might also need a Bescheinigung or an admission letter showing that, okay, you're a student, and that is why you might be getting maybe a certain number of Betreuungszeit and so on and so forth. So legal and administrative preparedness is also super important. Remember, like I did mention, the earlier you do this, the lesser you save yourself from stress. And I also have what? Another point, and I think that is the last point, is career prospectus. When I talk about career prospectus, what am I talking about? You want to consider, on whether you choosing a studium or an Ausbildung is a good option. You have to think long term. When you choose, for example, an Ausbildung, it is also a good opportunity, right? Because you earn during your training and you'll be able to have the experience immediately. Like you do practical and theory at the same simultaneously, and you also have good access into the job market. When we talk about studium might take longer, might be expensive, and you will not be getting any income. Let's just put it like that. You will not be getting any income, but if you consider the pay you might be getting at the end of the day, it will be a little bit higher than somebody that, you know, went for an Ausbildung. So you have to consider your career prospectus. You consider on whether the job has a lot of competition, and yeah, put all of those things into consideration. And of course, I made this video just to remind us mothers that uh, being a mother doesn't stop you from wanting to achieve that goal. That's your goal. And yeah, considering a lot of very important stuffs before going for the program is super important. Under career prospectus, you also want to look at the nature of your Ausbildung. Is it the right program? Like, are you choosing something that you'll be able to cope? Because my Ausbildung or Studium comes with stress. You need to read, you need to put in the work. Are you going to be able to do these things? Also being a mom, and also being a normal human being that you are. So you need to consider all of these stuffs before choosing what an Ausbildung, and see you in 2026 at the top. We are only permitted to go what? To go up. That's why I decided to make this video, because I myself, I'm doing some private research, some stuffs that I intend to do in 2026. So I thought it wise that there might be somebody like me also looking for information or maybe just motivation. See, it is possible. I've seen mothers that have made it. Why not us? Why not us? Why not you and I? So my video is to motivate you and also to inform you on things to consider. I hope this video helped someone. And if you watch up to now, please consider subscribing for more motivational and inspiring videos. Have an amazing day, and bye-bye.